welcome back, man, to the Mic Check Show, man. Today, we're stepping into the ring with a fighter who brought great speed and serious pedigree, man. A former world title contender and longtime staple of the lightweight division, baby. I can't even tell you how many people, man. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people, man. Please welcome, y'all. Please welcome Anthony Peterson, baby. That's what's up. Yo, AP, man. Like I told you a little earlier, man. Like, this is crazy, man. I started this 5 months ago, and I'm here talking to AP, man.
Hey, bro, everything is possible, bro. And it's an honor to be here. When I seen you come in my store, like any fan of mine is definitely, I'm a fan of yours. It was another good person to know to help me in my journey to, reach to people that's lost in the boxing world and the real world.
There you go. The way we like to start things off here, right, AP, is by asking rapid fire questions.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The boxing scene in one word.
Stand still.
Biggest lesson boxing gave you.
Anything is possible.
Who had the best chin you fought?
That's hard to say because I put hands on a lot of men. Lamont, Peterson, Paul Williams, Dab Judah, Javante Tank Davis, Adrian Broner, Robert Easton, Devin Haney, Brian Norman. I've been in there with a lot of people. Thomas Top Dog. Oh man, it's so many names that I can name, but it's hard to say which one had the best chin. Oh, Connie Bowman, my guy. My salute to my man Connie Bowman from York, Philly.
Shout out.
That's my favorite white boy. I always tell him that we were 16 because me and my brother both fought him. And my left hook was the most dangerous thing that came at that time. And I remember cleaning him up with a hook and walking off like my Achilles moved. I thought I was about to walk off. He was like, "Yeah, come on." I was like,
that scared you a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that picture. I'm glad that's good because Connie Bowman for sure. Under best chin. Me and my brother always shared that with each other, saying, who got the best chin, who was the toughest guy. Connie Bowman for sure.
Early rounds or late rounds?
Late.
You don't want to finish them early? Because I remember you told with a few dudes.
It all depends on the opponent because sometimes going for a kill early, with a guy with dangerous hands, you might get misjudged, misdirect, or that sweat fly that punch in a different direction and something may happen. But later rounds, you got that rhythm, you got that flow, you kind of immune to them shots. Your body, it's hard to explain, especially like if you've been in there before, you'll know like them late. I've done 12 rounds 3 times. And trust me, that is deep to do 12 rounds with a man on national TV to not get embarrassed, to not get embarrassed and to not get shooken up. That's deep because I was scheduled. I went straight from doing 6 rounds straight to 12. So I didn't have the experience to even go schedule or even prepare and train for a 7-round, 8-round fight. We went straight from doing 6-round fights.
Is that something you chose or you can't chose
that was something we was signed with. We wasn't signed with Prize Fight. We was doing business with Prize Fight. They definitely had a system down there that worked. Sean Porter came through. Fernando Guerrero. All of them came through that system that me and my brother pretty much helped them build. Now you suppose that I would say now from this body, from being 41 years old versus being 21 years old back then, you definitely want full control of your own career. So you have to say so of what you do and what you don't do. Back there,
now, the last one. If not boxing, what would you be doing?
I would be acting, entertaining, definitely for sure. Because boxing was never my sport. Boxing was something that I followed my brother, Lamont Peterson, who is one of the most dangerous guys in that boxing ring, man. I follow him. We 13 months apart. Same mother, same father, a father of 12. So we was real close.
Yeah.
And he always wanted to box for some reason. I always say because that's the difference between me and him. Antonio Reese, who was a professional boxer back from like 1988 to like 1994. I used to run to the door and Lamont used to run under the bed. So it was boxing was his thing.
Oh, yeah.
And acting, entertainment was my thing. So it was just like, I followed. I didn't plan on staying that long. Patrice Harris, who was my brother-in-law, And Lamont Peterson, those were the three guys that really kept me in boxing because I knew I would go to the gym every day and get lessons, life lessons from Burry, get comedy from Patrice Hers, was AKA Boogie, and I get my brotherhood and be around my brother,
That's
so I
right.
can get all three in one. You know what I mean? Burry was a phenomenal mentor as far as teaching sex education, personal hygiene, and how to deal with your emotions when it comes to yin and yang.
Man, LP, man.
And they get it from my biological father, Julius James Peterson, who was one of the most greatest guys I ever met. His story coming out soon. He beat all that, got his kids back, got his life in order, and been clean for 30 some odd years and been doing well ever since.
I was gonna ask you. I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask you, do we still have him here? Shout
He
out to
right up the street.
Pops.
And you wouldn't even know he's 77.
We gotta
Yeah.
thank God, AP, that he redeemed himself, man. That's
Me and Lamont bouts, especially Lamont Peterson, the resiliency that came from my father. They would like to fight those fights outside, to lose your kids, and to be hooked on all the type of drugs and get shot by the police and all that, and be facing all that time to maneuver your way without snitching and doing all that wild stuff. You
right.
you know represented yourself when it came to the system, and he won. He got around it, and he did what he said. Came, got his kids, and he raised us all together. I didn't understand it back then, but then I see how important that is to have your children under one roof and having a daddy around.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, I could imagine. I can remember not wanting to do wrong because, like, dang, what would Bird think? What would my father think?
Yep.
What would Coach Boogie think? What would Lamont think? You know what I mean? Like, though me and my brother, yes, we grew up in some tough circumstances, but it never was left out. We always had men around that reassured us what our manhood was going to be and where we at right now in the world. And I appreciate all of them for that.
Yeah, amen for that, man. Beautiful story, man. Speaking about you growing up in a tough, environment, let's say city, how was
Right.
DC like though? Well,
I mean, it all depends on what you want. If out of respect, people don't. A lot of people are not killers. They just don't want to die. So it's like they on edge. They on. But if you come around there thinking and representing that, looking like that, then you got hell to deal with. So it's like DC is a very very good place to be, especially in the daytime downtown. They got spots where you can go where it's none of that ratchet drama, none of that stuff where you got to look over your shoulder and worry about what's what and what's not. You know what I mean? But now DC, especially, I was born in '85, and I was conscious. I was making money doing my own thing. I remember the hustlers coming, watching me wash windows and giving me money. I seen what was going on. I seen dead bodies. I seen guys who was singing in the daytime would be a killer at night. You know? So it's like, dang, like, and that's why I gotta give props to Burry. Because
life, yeah.
my nickname was Killer. But my nickname was Killer. Killer, killer, like take somebody's life. And he used to look at me and say, look, son, when they ask you and say killer, you tell them my name is Anthony. Don't put that on him because next thing you know, y'all, you know what I'm saying, and like pushing a killer that's not real good kid. But
Right.
it was gonna come to that because I can remember like feeling that urge, like wanting to show people that I was really on what people said I was on. Definitely, like I said, a lot of people don't look at stuff like that that can really help an individual to get older and help a whole bunch of other individuals. And look how that will go and just keep spreading, keep spreading. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right. How
And that's
how
how it's supposed
how'd
to
you
go.
feel about that though, AP? Like when Barry did that, how'd you feel about that?
I was like, man, he's trying to destroy my image. But as I got older, puberty took over. A lot of things that he was saying was manifesting because he was saying, all these kids playing the playground, he's like 80% of them not going to make it because they don't have what y'all have. And he was on us a lot, a lot, letting us know like that ain't it. Hanging with this crowd or this people, that ain't it. Getting involved with girls, teenage pregnancy and all that, that's not it because it's going to hinder your career, especially
That's
what
right.
y'all trying to be. If y'all trying to be some regular local guys, that's cool. But if y'all want to be them superstars and y'all want to say who y'all is, that's gonna get in the way. Yeah, and it's not 100% chance that it'll be that, but the percentage, if you play the numbers and look around you from your uncles, your fathers, your cousins, your whoever, like from around your way. I know a million guys from Brooklyn to Oakland. I never got caught up into that because Burry reassured me on 1,000 occasions, especially me because I was sweet, gullible, love girls, love women at a very young age, like 7, 8, 9 years old, like very young, like it's about writing letters and flowers and I love you, be with you forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah,
get where your heart
you
at. Yeah, I get where your heart at, but it's a very slight chance that you will run into the same in return. Because I come from a mother who had 12 babies with my dad.
can I ask you this,
One.
AP? And
Mhm.
this is something I don't know because I'm not from DC, but I know
Okay.
out here in New York, and I can't even say that now because, man, now anything goes, right? Back then, if you saw someone you had beef with and he was with his family, his moms, pops, that's a no-no.
No, no.
But nowadays, they shooting him, pops, moms, daughter, son, like the I guess the well, I don't guess I know the morals, the principles out the window. But I say that to say this.
But
Yeah.
to my knowledge, when I was coming up, I came up like in the last little sprinkle of the good men era, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I seen that here in DC. There's still a little bit left, but I know it was more stronger back in the 90s. I remember Mark Johnson, Sean Bay Mitchell, Keith Holmes, DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley, uh, um, Andrew Council, and you can just see like the guys in the streets gave him the respect, around gave him the respect. But it's like right now, um, as I see it now, it's not the same. Of course, and then there's it's other reasons why I believe, and I did my research on this, why the respect is gone, why these kids is going the way they're going. We don't have
That's
any
right.
type of power, no type of political power button to push it, just like what happened with the Asian crew. But the hate crime that look what happened because they got a nationality of people who will show up and show out or will discontinue something from the American system or fabric that will kind of discontinue some stuff here. So
Right.
they're like, nah, we got to let that go.
Yeah, that
That's
sucks,
just my
man.
opinion, for
But
sure.
unfortunately, it's just the circumstances. I always tell my wife because my wife is from the good side of Jersey.
I
Where
love
we grew
that.
up at, we don't hear that.
We was out there. It was a beautiful day in DC. It was 81 degrees, but it's further out in Maryland.
Beautiful.
And don't get me wrong, I love the city at times, but you just want to get away. You don't want to hear just people just in your space. You know what I mean? Everybody should
Yeah.
want to go out
Yeah.
and breathe and see, look at your childhood wounds and reminisce a little bit about the things that you went because we ain't gonna be here forever. And that's that
That's a
sounds
fact.
cliche, but that's true.
The disconnect, man, is it's not even this close. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But I see
Yeah.
it through and through. Like I said, I had an eye for it when I was a youngster, like 10, like 9 or 10. Remember the time I met Bird? He definitely had me and my brother minds different, thinking outside the box a little bit as far as life and life lessons, especially as a teenager, stuff that people need to be reassured on being in this world, public schools, uh, definitely been around other kids who don't have mentors and stuff like that to keep them from trying to do adult things or illegal things and things that
Right.
lead to teenage pregnancy, HIV, or STDs and stuff like that. So yeah, we definitely had a good viewing of what was to come. Oh yeah, for
What? It
sure.
was everywhere.
I was fake ass little Tupac in the early '90s getting around. I ain't gonna lie, but I ran into some good, thorough women that I would have definitely would have planted my seed in and would have watched them grow and took care of them. But at the same time, it's like me coming up and seeing all of this, I wasn't sure of what I really wanted. I mean,
Yeah.
and then I didn't have the um the true finances that I believe I need to have to take care of a woman because I'm an old school. Like when I come in, I'm shutting everything down. Like,
That's why you were 85,
yeah,
baby, like me. You
yeah.
older than me though, because I'm September.
No, I'm on 16th
Yeah.
last week. Yeah, last week, eight
Oh,
days.
hell, what we doing?
Actually, man, my 40th birthday, every day in my 40s was like turn up, going out. Like if you follow me on Instagram, my story was just, I appreciate it, man. That was
Word up,
definitely
word up.
just watching other guys. Like I like style. You know what I mean? Again, going back to Burry. Burry was a great stylist, like clothes, jewelry, um, high quality stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I took eyes to all that type of stuff. So that's where I get all my dressing and stuff from.
Is it safe to say, AP, that Lamont like motivated you to become a boxer?
Lamont more so, but like I said, Burry and Boogie played a big role in that too
And then okay,
because they
okay.
made it fun and comfortable for me to come to the gym every day because I was very consistent. I would come to the gym every day and get a good laugh, get a good lesson, and like I said, get a good and I like to watch my brother box because
The
even when he
fellowship.
was
Yeah.
3 or 4 years old, that's how we end up boxing. Patrice Hers was my brother-in-law. He seen Lamont beat up a kid on the block for me because he kept messing with me because I had snaggy tooth or whatever. And Boogie saw that. My mother had my sister, which was Boogie was dating her at the time. At that moment, because he knew Burry already, he said, if I can get Burry with Lamont, he can make him a world champion, and that's what happened. He
Exactly
really,
what happened.
yeah. And I remember the setting. It didn't take place right away, so I said, "Well, I do it." So he's like, "Nah, you too small. Like you ain't, you know what I'm saying?" But Lamont was always the one when it came to mano a mano, real boxing. And dismiss what I'm saying. Just look at his performances when he fought,
Yeah.
when he went
Yeah.
down in each fight.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
always came back with a vengeance. He always came back like the boogeyman. I mean,
Yes,
so
sir. Yes, sir.
that's basically.
Man, both of you guys, amazing, man, amazing, talented. I'm telling you, brother, like you guys, just the fact that I knew, right, you guys are brothers, like it's just an inspiration. You know, I know your mom's is proud, man. My nephew, my cousin, you know what I mean? I wish I would have, you know, brought that type of joy or even excitement to Mom Dukes, but you know, unfortunately, you know, I took the other route. You know,
Yeah, but look at you now.
that's a
Everything led you
fact.
to this point because not only now it's about to happen for you. To them that big dog, big boy, you're gonna be like, hey, and make sure you save this because I'm telling you, you're gonna get one of the best interviews, one of the most popular, most famous, most whatever. And this ain't gonna be no you gotta reach out. But I'm
Appreciate
wishing
that.
that on you. You know what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
that, AP. It's only been 5 months.
Mm. Yeah, in 5 months. I mean, she looked like you've been doing it for 5 years. You see what I'm
And
saying?
I'm
Like your
like,
platform,
dang, like,
your viewers, your followers, your interviews, the people you interviewing, the people the stuff that they talked about, the topics. Everything was, it was classy, and
that's
that's
one
cool.
thing, AP, I said to myself. There's certain outlets, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking, which ones I'm talking about, that they like to bash fighters. You was just like you at the club with them, or you doing behind the scenes, or but then when you get the chance to talk bad about AP or LP, you do it. Like it doesn't make sense to me, man. Like this is
I
so
definitely
whack to me.
understand. And that was, man, my brother, if you ever looked at our career, we never was in cahoots with nobody when it came to back and forth or when I see you is this, is when it's that. Then my brother never got into that. And we came from the era where people was doing that. But it was with us, it was like we was just too damn cool as people first, and secondly, we not going for that shit. And that's how we roll. But when it comes to that, we don't play.
It's
I mean,
horrible.
not nothing that I'm um, trying to put on a tough guy. Like
If
we're
you
gonna do
if
all that in the ring. Like
no,
we're
no,
gonna
that's
do
a
all that.
fact.
Keep it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it class, but we never. And that's why I believe. And I'm not saying this is a good thing. If anybody listens to this, is not a good thing for boxing promotion. Now, if you're trying to be that person that's getting a fight like a Rolly, Now I remember running into the Rolly coach, Bullet, when Tank fought Ryan Garcia, April 22nd of 2023. And I never met Bullet a day in my life. Yo, he was like, man, he's like, why you not fighting? Like, he's getting big fights and blah, blah, blah. Why you think you're not getting fights? Yeah. And to me, I think Rolly can fight. Say what you want. Rolly can, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can tell he got dynamites in both hands.
I agree. Bro, right? I think he can fight.
I just think his emotions will gonna get the best of him eventually. I think his emotions will eventually get the best of him when it comes to a big boy fight. Now, Barrios, no disrespect to him, or we have to see again with the Devin fight because we have to erase that because of the circumstances that took place. I think that when hell in hot water, when the emotions are high, and he's done that in the past several times to give me the indication that he will do that. I'm speaking from a fighter perspective. Actually, I suppose I got disqualified by September 1st of 2007 against Montez Logan. He got in my face in the third round and he kissed me. But we was in Mississippi, so they let the fight. That was emotions. Yeah, I know social media wasn't out back then. But like I said, I could be wrong. But like I said, the things that he's done in the past and the things he's been doing lately, always a fighter like that under those lights against like a Bud Crawford, a Earl Spence, you want to fold. Yeah, Shakur, but I want to make this clear first. These fighters are naturally better than us. Like they're faster, they're better athletes. That's the only how you can go. Got fighters now that's hip to everything. We didn't have social media back then.
Right.
We got access to a lot of things, man, that further their skill set, their chemistry for the game, they are grit for the game, they love for the game, and they preparation for the game, and they recovery time. They got better things for athletes, better gadgets to recover. Look how most of their careers ended.
Yeah.
Most of them can't talk. I mean,
yeah.
You want to be like, you're starting to see it a little bit more, stemming from Mayweather, Andre Ward, Bud Crawford, Tank Davis, Shakur, Keyshawn, all these guys I really believe will eventually retire undefeated, maybe one loss or a draw here and there, swift shot, but they all retired with their senses, all nine of their senses attached. And
what fight do you want to see, AP? If Turkey can make it happen, because it seems like he's the one.
Tank and Shakur. I want to see Tank and Shakur. I've been wanting to see it for a long time. That's the fight that will pique my interest to make me hot pin nails under the feet. Because I watched them both grow up, but I'm more further on the Tank side because I have a personal relationship with him. He's been in my house before, watched him grow up. Calvin and all those guys used to come to DC a lot, and Burry them used to come to the gym a lot with me and my brother. I've never been in the ring with Shakur before, but I watched my brother spar with Shakur 4 rounds, and that was the beautifulest, bornest 4-round exhibition I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
That says a lot.
You know, the common fans would be like born to them, but true boxing fans
no. Yeah. Okay, so what about the draw with Roach? Like, I mean, because people, I see. Here's the thing: I think fans see that draw and it's like, oh yeah, nah, we got to move on.
Now, as far as
I like that, AP
pride, ego. Now, I can give you answers from both hats. From a fighter, throw his ass back in there. The common, like I said, the common crowd don't know styles make fights. So I think that's the best move. Speaking from a promotion perspective, I think it's the best interest for Tank to fight Cruz, wipe him out, and that's not. I think that kind of push him ahead of
to that Shakur fight.
Yeah, and not be so close to Lamont Roach, be more closer to a Shakur, which is a better business decision to make.
Who would you go for? Yes, sir.
About me, and this is how I feel. I feel like the more they wait, the better it will be for Shakur. The sooner the percentage will fall into Tank lap. neck and neck and eye to eye with one of the greatest fighters I ever seen with my two eyes, which is Terrence Bud Crawford.
I
That
agree.
dude is different on a highest level, like crazy different, like because it's just that a disparity of difference. And then you got to add insult to injury that he in there with Keyshawn too, Davis, and Keyshawn one of my favorites to watch
And
because
Andre Ward
I
too.
watched him and Tank spar before, and that's one of my
Word?
biggest.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest talents. My biggest talent is to recognize other talent, if that makes sense. I watched Adrian Broner when he was a little boy, and all of them did not disappoint. When I saw Tank, Rashi Warren, Adrian Broner, and when I saw Keyshawn spot Tank one day, Keyshawn had to be like maybe 16 or 17. No, it's just gloves. Just tucked this mouthpiece in and went right back to war and gave Tank all the best work he could ever had. I remember and I remember when he came out of the ring, I said, boy, if you show what you just showed in there, nobody will ever touch. Like he was sparring one of our fighters named Keyshawn Williams. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh yeah. I said, that's the dude I was telling you about, Lamont, the kid. And I was like, if you can do that with Tank, and Tank at that time was smoking everything and everybody. He would go everywhere. Tank knocking you out. Devastating power.
How do you want your fans in the boxing world to remember Anthony Peterson?
I want them to remember me as an entertainer, not a fighter. I follow my brother into the game, and like I say, man, there's so many ways, things I can explain how and why.
Yeah,
Think
yeah.
about the toughness you gotta have to go through that type of situations. And true, quick little story. Now, November 13th of 1992, Riddick Bowe and Holyfield fought. I said they did 12 rounds. My mother ended up having 12 babies. I ended up doing 12 rounds, damn near 12 times. I never was supposed to have been in a boxing ring, period. I know a lot of people see me in the streets, they be like, man, I thought you was better than your brother. Man, I thought, man, I was more entertaining than my brother. But when it came to real fighting, mano a mano, real grit and going to die for this, nah, Shorty had that in spades. I was not a fighter. These left hooks, every time you looked on ESPN, I had somebody foot up in their ass. But he had me on national TV flat, believing that I was that. Now, don't get it twisted. A lot of errors that he had as a coaching strategist, yes. But as far as motivating and making you believe that you can beat any man or any mountain, oh, he was an ace at that. That's yeah. Forget what I'm saying. Just look at what I was doing in there. I would go home and look at it on wax. I would scream out like I saw a horror movie. But like I say, no, a real fighter, but there's a difference between a fighter or the real grit, the real gut. Like, for instance, Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. He know Ali was a dinosaur with a pretty face. So that's why I'm at with that.
Do you see yourself staying involved in boxing in some way?
To announce Boxed Out episode 1 and 2 is out. Kind of remind me of if you ever watched the Laker Dynasty when Coach came in and changed the whole dynamics of things, like as far as like looking at how things supposed to evolve, and everybody just doing the same thing, but scared to step outside that box and do a different thing. And once they recognized that they had a different thing and develop a different thing, they got different results, which was victory, victory, victory. Everybody, the best athleticism he showed from 85 to 91. Phil Jackson,
The
a
triangle
strategist.
offense.
Yeah, he had a structure. That's what skill is the knowing what you're doing and a deep level of concentration. So yeah,
Can you AP, can you talk to us about the documentary?
yeah, the documentary just pointing out, just attacking um old ways of boxing and making, like, say, like, for instance, like, right, you heard the phrase is 90% mental and 10% physical,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So if this is true, if boxing is 90% mental and 10% physical, how come majority of fighters, a high percentage of fighters, more than 90% of fighters pay attention to only the physical, 90% of the physical? and 10% on the mental. But if it's 90% mental, why aren't we paying attention more to the mental? Never have you seen that.
Wow. Yeah.
Think I'm
Yeah.
lying? Go to a boxing gym right now. The Cubans did that for years. Oh man, I watched them dominate for years because they had a system. They started teaching other countries, and that's when they started catching up with the Cubans.
That's
It's
right.
only 12 slots, but they're covering 10 of them in metal, 8 in gold. So a fighter going trying to fight like Pacquiao or Tyson or Mayweather, the coach will automatically say on more than average. It's a lot of sayings in boxing
Yeah. Yeah.
that need to be checked. Who said that you're supposed to throw a jab like this, or you're supposed to throw a right hook like this, or you're supposed to have your hands like this? So that's all it is attacking these narratives of these old sayings of keeping boxing from evolving. Me and my brother truly believe that boxing is in a standstill, or you can't do this, but you keep them in this box. You will never know because they're in this box. But you let them outside that box,
You will
and there's
never see
ways
their
you can get
full
outside that box.
potential.
Yeah, you will never see their full potential because you got them trying to train them like Ray Leonard or a Ray Leonard style that don't work in the 90s, that don't work in 2000. You got to get, now you can get some of what he did and put it into today's style, but that's like this cell phone we on now. I mean, and if you just do it a little bit, you will see. Just stick your head outside the box and look how many other boxes out there. They are operating on different boxes. He punched outside of the box. Lomachenko, think outside of the box. Mayweather, think outside of the box. So I don't believe that punches are born. Just I believe some of the things that you are born with, like your fast twitch muscles, the bone dense. It's a lot of things that you could be born with that can form into a power punch. Because I'm testament of that. Because anybody know I had a left hook that was like Joe Frazier left hook that would knock any man out.
Yeah.
Miguel Cotto. You didn't lose your power. I was born with this. And that's the same thing with boxing and thinking outside the box. ABC, 1, 2, 3, jab, jab, right handed little stuff that you need to start with. So
The
it's cool to
fundamentals.
start in a box. Yes. So that's what this documentary is
That's
about.
right.
My brother, Lamont Peterson, is going to come on here and definitely explain it to the full T to get you to understand where we're going with this.
At
Yeah, yeah,
first,
yeah.
I was like, wait, I was a little lost, but once you explained it, now we there.
Outboxed is definitely, and it's the last thing that I wanted to cover because I don't want to be on here too long. Shout out to Richard Hitchens, but it hurt me. There is no way that these two young men supposed to be walking around looking weight drained the way that they did the day before the fight. And it's so I can't. It's more than better.
Well, this
How
is
I
why the
how
fight didn't happen, right?
what
Yeah.
I saw, it was weight draining issues. Because there's no way you're supposed to be walking around with your skeleton shown and you're fighting less than 30 hours, bro. Everything I said is even more important than the boxed out documentary, weight training. And my brother, like I said, episode 3, and my brother gonna come on here because he's certified nutritionist and a certified dietitianist. My brother is certified personal trainer. He's certified in these avenues where he can express and explain to y'all better than I can, especially when it comes to your health and being right when it comes to fight night.
Nope.
Okay. Have you ever seen Mayweather in the ring looking exhausted, like,
No.
damn, I just made it? Never. That's what a fighter's want. You see these weight drain fighters, and because they're so high on themselves, and you have to have this to be a fighter of this magnitude. You brainwash yourself. I'm all right. I'm good. You at 25, 20%, but you leap up to 50%. Oh, I felt better than I felt then. Hey, you look better. You look better. That don't mean you feeling good because when that bell ring, when that referee check in with them seconds, and he ring that bell, so that's the health. They weight drain, take all the fluids out of their brain. And then because you don't have enough time to put it all back in a
Right.
24 hours. It's not being passed down enough from the elite fighters, like a Floyd Mayweather, like an Andre Ward. Andre the talked about it because these guys went through the wars before, and I went through a lot of and you
And
think
it's
now
super
you got money.
dangerous.
How I know? I did it 44 times.
Wow.
I hope this conversation here leave you with something that'll help you further your career, help you further you with your career with that you got going on. In a few months from now, I'm not gonna be the same person. I might look at this documentary or look at this interview that next week and be like, man, I don't, know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Right.
how I feel. Evolving is my biggest thing is growing. Some of my life lessons and experiences in boxing and in life.
And and I thank you for getting Lamont as well. Speaking of both of you guys, it's going, right now it's crazy. And also, as I told you at the top, I said, I don't like to bash, I like to give, hand out flowers. And I say that to say this, AP, I want to give you your flowers for being who you are, for staying true to yourself, you know, for believing in yourself, man. And I know you guys are doing X amount of things, especially now with with the documentary and I noticed the podcast and all these things.
And like I say, we going the Marco,
Yeah, let's do it.
and we can definitely close it out with both of us because we got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about, and not just to stroke our egos or to put a mirror in our face and say, "Oh, we the ones," because I don't give a damn about none of that. My thing is, I don't want to see what I've been seeing in boxing repeating itself, and all it takes is a little tip. Hey man, cross that T right there and dot your I. Because if you don't cross that T, we might think it's an L. We misspelled this word. Now our whole communication is off. And I feel as we obligated as alumni, as boxers who went through that, to share this information in the best way we can express it to them, and for they can understand that
Yeah,
having real seminar, like looking at them, like know the signs to look for, the dry eyeballs, how to keep licking their lips. There's so many things that's happening, and that's what made my brother come in there to just really try to navigate them into a way where it's the bottom line.
you guys heard it, man.
Let
Yeah.
you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all interview because like when my brother talk, man, it's like it's so refreshing to hear this guy, man. All the wars.
I appreciate you, AP. We gonna
All right, take
talk.
it
We
easy.
gonna chop it up. You too, brother. Thank you so
All right,
much.
all right, no
Peace.
problem, brother. All right.